Hello everyone, Happy New Year. I'm Wisdom Cube, and welcome back to another theory video. And today's theory is, what if Justin Stewart, the blue Turbo Ranger from Power Rangers Turbo, went into space? Yes, so now to give you guys a recap, at the end of Turbo, the Turbo Rangers essentially lost. They lost their Megazords and the power chamber and their weapons all in one day. And to make things worse, Zordon was captured by the United Alliance of Evil, and Divatox went into space. So the Turbo Rangers, despite losing their powers, decide to chase after Divatox in order to save Zordon. However, Justin came up with a plan and talked to the people of Nasada, the Power Rangers equivalent to NASA, and managed to get the other Rangers a space shuttle for them to chase after Divatox, and of course what leads to the events of Power Rangers in space. However, only TJ, Ashley, Cassie, and Carlos, as well as Alpha 6, boarded the space shuttle, with Justin deciding to remain on Earth to be with his dad. Yes, so recap over. However, what if he didn't? What if Justin instead decided to go into space with the other Rangers? Let's talk about that. Now, if Justin went into space alongside the other Rangers, I'm pretty sure the beginning of In Space would still play out the same, um, the Rangers' shuttle boarding the Astro Megaship, the team meeting Andros, and Astronema's attack. I'm pretty sure all of that will remain the same, and I'm pretty sure, um, like the Space Rangers would still be formed the same way. Now, let's get into the major questions. What would Justin's role be in the space season? And second question is, how would True Blue to the Rescue still play out with Justin being in space full time? Um, and um, would Justin be one of the new Space Rangers? Hmm. Um, oh yeah, and also, if Justin is able to, how would he handle the threats up in space? Well, I'm gonna go over those questions one at a time. Starting with Justin's role, I'm pretty sure if Justin doesn't become one of the Space Rangers, I'm pretty sure Justin's role would be kind of like a technician type of role, kind of similar to how Billy was during Zeo. Remember, Billy didn't become one of the initial Zeo Rangers or even the Gold Ranger. He was mostly tech support for the command center before he decided to stay on Aquatar at least. Um, so yeah, I can kind of see Justin's role being similar to Billy's, honestly. If he doesn't become a ranger, like in like the first quarter of In Space, because that's going to be quite interesting, but will also be kind of a problem because remember Justin's role in Turbo, um, he was able to um like create certain like devices um like a bit sorry I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. I apologize. But yeah, basically during Turbo, Justin was a genius and he was even able to help out Tommy with his race car in one episode. Um and was even able to help out in the command center. Um if he was in space, I'm pretty sure um Justin would have some trouble trying to figure out the certain mechanics of the astral megaship, but I don't think Andros would trust Justin fully anyway, at least at first, with his ship. Because, yeah, it took the other Rangers some time helping Andros fix the astral megaship for them to gain his trust and even become the new space team with Zane out of commission. And speaking of Zane, I'm pretty sure if Justin was in space, he would be able to meet Zane again when Zane comes out of his cryosleep. Um, what else? Oh yeah. Now the second question is, would Justin become the Blue Space Ranger? I'm gonna say no. And why is that? Because True Blooded Rescue still needs to happen. Yeah, I don't think Justin would want to become one of the new Space Rangers. I think until True Blue to the Rescue happens, I think Justin would stay as tech support while TJ takes the Blue Space Ranger title. That's how I see it, honestly. Um, oh yeah, I think I forgot to mention this. Let me quickly address the elephant in the room. And that is Justin's dad, Doug, would honestly freak out if Justin was in space. Because remember, Justin stayed on Earth to be with his dad. And if Justin decided to head into space with the others, I'm pretty sure Doug would not want to take that new job opportunity he got. Um, remember, in Chase into Space, Doug got a new job opportunity that would unfortunately have him and Justin move out and away from Angel Grove. And if Justin's not present, I'm pretty sure Doug would be worried sick for his only son. Remember, he had lost his wife. Losing his son would just be too much for him to handle, and I'm pretty sure Doug would not take the job and stay in Angel Grove in order to, like, try and find his missing son. The only thing I can see um, Doug taking the job is, and this is a stretch, um, Justin returning to Earth like what the other Space Rangers do and some of the episodes of In Space, like in Always a Chance or some other episode. But yeah, I think Justin would return to Earth, reunite with his dad, explain everything in spite of Zordon's rule of not revealing his Ranger identity to anyone. And I think Justin would like have his dad take the job because remember, Justin saw how happy his dad was when he got that new job opportunity. So I'm pretty sure if Justin returned to Earth, reunited with his dad, explained the situation, I think he would insist that his dad take the job because it makes him happy. And Doug would probably um understand Justin's point of view. But I think that would create some conflict between them. Um, Again, if Justin does go through all of that, but let's just say for sake of argument, he does, and that would bring some closure to Justin's character arc in Turbo. Because if Justin goes into space with the others, that character arc would be kind of open ended until um, the events of of Justin returning to Earth, reuniting with his dad, etc., happening. Okay, now that I got all of that out of the way, let's continue on with my questions for this theory that I'm answering. Um, um, Number three, how would True Blue to Rescue still play out in this scenario? Um, I think it would still play out relatively the same, but with some alterations here and there. Um, um, Case in point, the Rangers being captured. I think if Stormblaster does manage to escape the Piranatrons and warn the Space Rangers of what's happening, and subsequently Lionizer, Ecliptor, and the Quatrons capture the other Space Rangers, I think Justin would be on the Astral Megaship witnessing all of this and would want to help, but like would lack his powers. Because remember, during this time, Justin does not have his blue turtle powers at this point. Remember, they vanished alongside the other Turbo Rangers' powers when Eltar was captured. Yeah, so you have to take that into consideration. Since Eltar is still captured in this scenario, the turbo powers are cut off. And if the turbo powers are still cut off, Justin won't be able to do much. And remember that, because I'm going to get back to that later. Now, um, I can kind of see um, Stormblaster um, reuniting with Justin on the Astral Megaship anyway, and explain the situation. Um, Justin going with Stormblaster to save the others, and Justin regaining his blue turbo powers via the new morpher Stormblaster gives to him. Remember, um, Justin, TJ later in Forever Red, and Catherine during the events of um, Dimensions in Danger, um, they all have regained their turtle powers. So, yeah, um, if Justin does regain his turtle powers and saves the others, as well as helps save Lightning Cruiser, I'm pretty sure the events of True Blue to Rescue remain the same, honestly. Now, on to the last question, and that is how would Justin fare at fighting off the forces of, excuse me, fighting off the forces of Astronema, Ecliptor, Darkonda, and basically any other of the monsters that the Space Rangers have fought? Um, it kind of varies, really. Um, I do see Justin holding his own against the Quantrons. Again, he has held his own against them unmorphed. And yeah, um, when Justin regains his blue turtle powers, I can see him helping the Space Rangers fight off some monsters. But yeah, it again, this is where it kind of varies because you have to take into account the major threats that Andros, TJ, Ashley, Cassie, Carlos, and Zane have taken on. Like, obviously, Takenstein, um, Ecliptor, Darkonda, who has 9 lives like a cat, um, the Psycho Rangers, good God. Oh man, I think that would be Justin's most dangerous adversaries to face. Um, and even Astronema herself. Oh man, I don't think Justin's walking away from those threats. Because remember, those threats I mentioned gave the Space Rangers a hard time. And if Justin is still present, even with his blue turbo powers intact, I don't see Justin helping out as much against these threats. Because yeah, there is a high risk of Justin either being seriously injured, probably on the same level as Zane was during the KO35 fight, or even worse, getting killed. And remember, Justin is still a kid. You have to take that into consideration. That, yes, while Justin is still a great ranger, he's still a kid. And remember, he does not have the same experience as Jason or Tommy do. And those two have faced off the likes of Serpentera, a Zord that can destroy planets, Lord Zed, who the Rangers never actually beat in a fight, from what I remember anyway. It required the Z Wave to take him out for good. Um, the Machine Empire, and the likes of Divatox. And that last threat I mentioned, the Turbo Rangers ultimately lost against Divatox. Yeah, so you have to take that into consideration. And that's not even taking into account um, the forces that those major villains I mentioned have at their disposal, like Godar and Sprocket and Prince Gasket. Yeah, those are all quite threats in and of it themselves. And yeah, um, I think that would be like game over for Justin if he engaged in the fights against those threats I mentioned, especially considering the Psycho Rangers. And it took the Rangers thinking outside the box for them to take down at least one of them. Yeah, so you have to take that into consideration. That overall, Justin um going into space would be quite interesting, as he would still be with his friends and will probably help out against some of the monsters. But as the events of In Space continue, um, there does lie some detriments there. Not only in terms of the major threats of the Space Rangers must face, but there also runs the risk of Doug not taking the job on Earth, um, Justin not having his turbo powers, at least not yet anyway, until Stormblaster reunites with him, which will probably take a bit longer. Um, oh yeah. Um, as for Justin would also provide some backup as an extra ranger. Um, and yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Justin would stand that much of a chance against the United Alliance of Evil. So, yeah, if Justin goes into space, it would be really dangerous for him in terms of combat, but I do see him helping out the Space Rangers when they need him to. Um, yeah, so I think Justin staying on Earth was ultimately the best decision he made for himself in terms of both his character and his own um, character arc in both Turbo and in space. So, what do you guys think? What would you guys think would happen if Justin, the Blue Turbo Ranger, went into space alongside his friends? Just comment below, let me know. I'm WisdomCube, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!